Hello, VC. This is Beatleman69. Today I'm going to give an update for August. Stuff I picked up this month, and I think I picked up maybe a few things up in July, but I don't exactly remember. But anyway, we're going to do some 45s first. Um, this is the Beatles, 8 days a week. I don't want to spoil the party. Let's see here. All right. We got Ticket to Ride. Back with Yes It Is. Under Ticket to Ride, it says it's from the United Artists release, Eight Arms to Hold You. It says the same thing for Yes It Is, which we know the movie was changed to Help, but why they got it under Yes It Is, I have no idea unless they intended that song to be in the movie and dropped it at the last minute. We got Ringo Starr, Hey Baby. Back with Lady Gay. From Ringo to Rotogrover, 1976. A couple CCR 45s. Looking out my back door, as long as I can see the light. And original. And the other CCR 45, original 45 I have, Traveling Band with Who'll Stop the Rain. And it's an original. The record store I bought it from, the store clerk said, "Hey, those are nice." I said, "Yeah." Talking about both those CCR 45s. Tell me about it. Being as old as they are and still original sleeves, ain't all dinged up or nothing. Yeah, they're in excellent shape. Totally. Okay, I'm gonna do. I got a few non-Beatles, Beatles related. I got some other albums I'm gonna show you. Found this at the record store. John Fogerty solo album. Really, technically, it's really a second solo album entitled John Fogerty from 1975. I got this album as I have this album already, but it's a reissue on Fantasy, and it was a European pressing. This one's a U.S. pressing, and the first pressing was 1975, and this is on Asylum. My reissue, like I said, it was on Fantasy, but it was like a German or European, some kind of European pressing. And Asylum label. Fairly decent record. I was reading in a book called Bad Moon Rising. It was an unauthorized biography of the band, and after they went their separate ways, and it said that the author said that this album here should have been the follow-up, The Pendulum, instead of Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras was considered a disaster. Well, John intent was to break the band up because he had enough of the other two. So anyway, y'all can deal with that. Read up on it. I think one of my previous videos I talk about that. Okay, I found this at a thrift store. This is Gary Puckett Union Gap's Greatest Hits. It was released in 1970. This is a South Korean pressing. Label, logo. Found this at a thrift store. And there he goes. See where it said manufactured in Seoul, Korea. I don't know if I can quite make that out. But I looked at it kind of hard at the thrift store, make sure it wasn't damaged. But I didn't look at it quite hard enough because, at least on side one, it had some hairline scratches in it. You could hear every time I made a revolution, it go. Didn't skip, just made that crackling sound every time one revolution. I don't know if the whole album's like that or not. I didn't finish listening to it because I was just aggravated. But I may one day finish listening to it and see if it clears up as it goes deeper into the album. Another non-Beatles album, Badfinger, Wish You Were Here, from 1974. This was released on Warner Brothers. It was originally it was pulled about 6 months or so after its initial release due to some issues with money disappearing. Was the original inner sleeve. Money disappearing out of their escrow account. Their manager was ripping the band off blind. I already have a copy of this. The reason why I picked this up, I got it on eBay actually. The reason why I got it, because the copy I had, or have, has some guy's last name written on it. I had picked that copy up at a secondhand record store probably 20 years ago by now. But it had the dude's name written across the top of the picture right here. And I was really never able to find another copy because there was probably not that many out there, I wouldn't think. But I did manage to find this one on eBay for a really good price, and the vinyl's in excellent shape. Okay, start on the Beatles and Beatles-related stuff. Paul McCartney, Take It Away maxi single. From 1982 from his Tug of War album. This is a Japanese pressing. And it's on gold vinyl. So Odeon. This also includes Dress Me Up as a Robber and I'll Give You a Ring. I have not listened to those. I've heard of Dress Me Up as a Robber because I have the LP, but I don't know about that other one. There's some interesting inserts in here. Came with it. Let's see. All right, here they are. Okay, this came with it. This is an inner. I wouldn't say inner sleeve. Just sheet, song, lyric sheet. English on one side, Japanese on the other. And I don't know where this come from, but I found this in there. And then looking it over, it's a lyric sheet to a Japanese pressing of John Lennon's rock and roll album from '75. You see there? How I got in there, I have no idea, but it's a lyric sheet of that album. Maybe if I come across that album, Japanese issue of that album, maybe I can stick that in there. But I'm going to put it in here for now. But that was a really great find there. It looks practically brand new. Okay, the Beatles. Sgt Peppers Lonely Hearts Club Band stereo pressing. First pressing. And the gatefold. There's no capital label, stereo. And I got the binaural version, so I got both. Now, I'm happy about that. That vinyl is in super condition, excellent condition. And it still contains original cutouts. Really nice. And I will see if I can get the inserts back in there. Yeah, there we go. The vinyl on that's excellent too. Really surprised. But the guy I buy from a thrift store at my local thrift store, he has his whole record bar of just number of albums, and the guy really finds some really great stuff. John Lennon, Music for Pleasure, Mind Games on Music for Pleasure label. This is 1980 issue. There's the label. Of course, I have the original on Apple, but I got this for a, for an issue variation, a reissue on a different label. Anybody who's seen my videos knows how, and I've always been like this, how critical I am of Capitol Records screwing up Beatle albums, chopping them all up, making their own for their own greed, trying to capitalize on something. But that being said, hey, they're still Beatle albums. I got U.S. pressings that I've been finding really good, most of them in good shape. And I found this one. I never thought I would buy this one, but hey, it's part of their catalog. I'm a completist on this. Beatles Help soundtrack. This is a first pressing mono copy. And it's a gatefold. Let's see, open it up. That comes through there. Original inner sleeve. Side 1. Side 2. Some chick named Susan Smith put her name on here. Somehow or another with tape or whatever. I don't know if I want to peel that off or not, but anyway, I was watching a video by Andrew Hall on YouTube, and he collects a lot. He's an English fella, and he collects a lot of Beatle albums, U.S., American, wherever, Well, there's a track on here in the title roll, which is the last track of the album, and it says introducing Wagner's Overture to Act 3. There's a guy that wrote that score, ain't credited on here, but he was saying, I'm back to sleep, but he was saying that later pressings, the guy that wrote the score in the title roll was actually credited later on. So go to Andy Hall. He has a lot of great videos on Beatles stuff, a lot of rare stuff, a lot of variations. I mean, I like watching his videos. I'm subscribed to him, so y'all check him out. Okay, next album, Beatles Yellow Submarine on Apple. This is an early pressing. It says stereo, but you can play it on monaural equipment. People still had mono stuff back then. Let me see where it says stereophonic. I'll go this way. And you can see it says Capitol. Let me just put my finger on it because it's kind of small. Right there. Right there it says Capitol. This is an early pressing, like I said. Apple label. Backside with George Martin's score. And you can see where it has the Capitol at the bottom of the Apple, which I believe came off late 69, 1970 is when they quit putting it on there. something to that nature. All right, this one. This is a Japanese pressing of something new. And yes, it's got a little scuff right there. But I found it at a record store up in Atlanta. But because even though it's a little scuff, but you can still read it. I got it because it's Japanese. And it's got on the spine. It's hard to read it. This one's a gatefold, unlike the U.S. copy, which was not, or you. And the Apple label. The vinyl's in excellent shape. And it also has, if I can get a hold of it here, it's got the lyric sheet written in English and in Japanese. So now I got on something new. I got the mono copy, the U.S. pressings of the mono copy, the stereo copy, and now the Japanese stereo copy. But this one on Apple. The other two were first presses in stereo and mono. I got just a few more here. This says an original pressing. This is Beatles 6, the stereo copy. I was hoping to find a monaural copy, but I haven't been able to come across one yet. And capital label. I'm still on the hunt for Beatles 65, but it seems like every time I find an original copy, the cover's beat up or the record scratched to hell and back. I can't win. But I did find Beatles 65. It was a stereo version, re-released on Apple. The album was in good shape, but I just didn't pick it up because I'm really trying to find an original first press of it, mono preferably. All right, I'm going to share. I'll put this one last because this is really interesting. I found this Ringo Starr, Goodnight Vienna. I already have a copy of this, but this one is a UK import. You can see the UK serial number or whatever you want to call it right there. It's got the same inner sleeve as the, well, it's basically the same sleeve as the US, but I think they did a better job of putting this together because this is more of like a cardboard type or thicker paper. The US copy, the paper was a little more flimsier and apt to tear from the record being put in there if you're not careful. Of course, the Nebula label. Maybe one day I'll do a video of all my albums, Beatle albums that I got that are pressed in other countries. Okay, last but not least. I found this at a thrift store, and I was really excited. First, I thought it was the Get Back bootleg, because it looks like Please Please Me, but it wasn't. But this is a German pressing of Please Please Me. This is a Apple pressing. It's got a little water damage right there. A little bit slight ring wear, a little bit of water damage. But I wasn't going to pass this up. And it's got maybe a little bit here on the front now. I took the plastic sleeve off. But I was excited to find this. Nice dark green apple. And it has a matrix number YEX94. It had some slight blemishes. I wouldn't say blemishes. I thought there would be going to be scratches. Usually I could tell with my fingernail, I drag my fingernail across. If my nail can feel it, then I know the needle's going to feel it when it hits. But I saw them. I couldn't feel them, but they were there. So I thought, well, hey, maybe they're cosmetic. So I told the gal at the counter, I said, look, I want this album, but it has some cosmetics surface visuals. I have to kind of bring it back if my needle finds them. You know, crackle, you know, through the revolution or skips. So she said, yeah. She said, as long as you don't hold on to it for no month. I said, well, if nothing else, it'll be tomorrow or as I'm making this video. She said, okay, that's fine. So I got it home, put it on my turntable, put it where I knew the blemishes were. Needle never saw them or felt them. So it played right through them without no problem. So anyway, that's my load up to this point. I appreciate everybody watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please leave a comment below what you think. You know, if you saw something you like, please leave a comment. And I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see you next time.